Welcome to Bridal Owner Success Stories. I'm your host, Mindy Linscomb, founder of Bridal Owner Success School, also known as BOSS. Each episode of this podcast, we will dive deep into hearing the stories of successful bridal shop owners, uncovering their biggest challenges and their valuable life lessons. I can't wait for you to get to know them as well. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to the BOSS podcast, which stands for Bridal Owner Success Stories. I'm Mindy Linscomb, your host, and I'm so excited to have a friend here named Jennifer Walker from Wisconsin, who has been in the industry a very long time. Thank you for being here, Jennifer.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Okay. Tell us the name of your store and where you're located and how long you have been doing this.
For sure. So the name of my stores are Charlotte's Bridal. We kept all three of them the same. And honestly, tomorrow is my 21st anniversary of owning the businesses. So I know.
Wow.
Crazy.
Not to, figure out your age or anything, but I am kind of curious because you must have been very young when you started.
Wasn't that young. I'll be 50 next year, but I was 28 when we bought the businesses. So when we bought the business, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to start there in the story because to me that's pretty fascinating. At 28 years old, this is not a career that most people grow up thinking, one day I'll own a bridal store. I've never actually met anyone who grew up thinking that. It usually fell into their lap in a very unique circumstance. So I'm curious for you, at 28 years old, how did this all begin?
So crazy story. My mom had just got done putting on two weddings. Both of my sisters had got married within 6 months of each other, and she was on like a little letdown. And so she was, I think it was always in the back of our brain. I grew up watching her. She was a balloon lady growing up. So she had her own business. And I think subconsciously, I think we all knew that owning a business was something that we wanted to do when we grew up.
All three of you guys? All three?
All three of us. The other two, my sister started the business with us, and then she decided to pursue a construction business with her husband. So that's what she does. And my other sister, she was a little sick growing up. We were in the hospitals most of the time. So she is a stay-at-home mom right now, which is, enough in itself. She's got two kids that are crazy.
So you guys, your mom just finished like making the two or getting through the two beautiful weddings for your sisters, and they went dress shopping, and I assume you liked that process.
Yes, it was very fun. Very fun. I loved it. I also loved the idea of creating your own destiny and like what you do in the business. Like that's the thing that got me hooked. I think my mom offered me a job, and I was a career counselor at a high school in Milwaukee, which was super fun, but I also could do it with one hand tied behind my back. And so I was bored to tears kind of thinking, what should I do next? What should I do next? And she presented me with, Jen, come back and organize the back room, because I love organizing. I love making chaos like perfect. And so like, I just love organizing the chaos. So that's what was proposed to me. And then Shannon decided.
Wait, you're working, when she bought the business, which I am kind of curious. I started to take one step backwards, but like, did a bridal shop owner just tell your mom one day, hey, I'm selling, do you want to buy it? Or did she go out looking to buy a business? Because, buying and selling bridal shops are kind of hard to do.
Yes. So she went, and honestly, like 3 years before we purchased the business, she had reached out and said, hey, I'd love to buy the bridal shop. And it was, when we were younger, both my sister Shannon and I were tall enough that we used to model for a bridal store back in Pennsylvania where we grew up. So that was like our first bug. And I think ever since then, my sister Shannon, she was like, oh, I want to own a bridal store. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. Honestly, when I went through college, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. So yeah, it was crazy. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she had reached out to this owner and asked if she could buy it. And the owner said, no, I'm not interested. But then a few years later, she was ready to retire, or how did it come to be?
Well, she wasn't the best business owner on the planet. So I think it was time for her to get out, and we overpaid for the business like everybody does in the beginning. I feel like that's not cliche. We didn't know anything about it. It was like all so fresh and so new. My dad used to say, it's just a couple more zeros, and it's a lot more zeros now than the balloon business. I mean, if you think about it, buying a balloon was like what? 10 cents, 20 cents, 15 cents, and then selling it for $100. And now we do thousands. So Yeah.
So did she keep her balloon business and buy the bridal business, or did
Nope,
she close it down?
she had sold that when we moved from Pennsylvania like years ago. This was
Okay.
when we were kids. Like she used to I have a picture of me in a clown costume delivering balloons with a song and a rhyme every time, which was so fun. Everybody knew
Oh
her
my,
in town. It's a tiny little town called Danville, Pennsylvania, back in the day. That's where I grew up and graduated from high school and everything. So
that
and
is like actually really cool. I hope things like that come back. They have the sign in your yard that you can get like,
Mhm.
you know,
We used to
just like,
decorate weddings as kids, like doing balloon arches and like all, I mean, so I think that it was kind of like ingrained and like we knew. And a couple of weird quinky dinks. My mom's middle name is Charlotte, and she was born the year that Charlotte Bushman actually started the store in 1948, which is like, I think we pray to her all the time. She's who I pray to. Thanks, Charlotte, for starting the business because she was
oh,
the first initial owner and she owned it for 40, I think 8 years, 46 years, something like that.
yeah. And we do always want to give credit to the people that gave us a start, right?
Oh,
Like
I
who did
know.
give us a start and how cool is that? So
Yeah.
okay, your mom's running it, your sister's working in it,
Yep.
and you're working in a school,
Uh-huh.
bored as could be. She
Yes.
lures you back in so that you
Yes.
would do the back room.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, this is maybe I could do more.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Shannon decided to leave then. And
Okay.
so and work in the construction company. And then we bought the business in 2004 and we knew we weren't going to stay in that building. So it was four different levels and like just not, I mean, grandma's coming in. We really wanted like a one level property. And my parents have brought us up to be buyers. So we wanted to purchase a building. So in 2006, we bought a building and moved the store in 2007. Then in 2009, we had a fire. And that's when like the business wasn't worth anything. Mom was like, oh my gosh, what do you guys want to do? Like, do you still want to? Shannon had left at this point, and mom was like, hey, this is our time. We've got insurance money. Do you want to get out? Do you want to still do it? And I doubled down. And that's when we transferred everything into my name at that point, because it was like mother, daughter, like it was both of us at the beginning. But then everything got transferred into my name in 2009, and we've been rocking it ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your mom probably got more of the work-life balance she was hoping for
Yes.
because now she can just help if she wants to, right? Like,
She likes to call herself my biatch. So she likes to run around and do all she's my house manager now, like you suggested, which I love that idea.
oh, you
So
did.
yeah, I did. I promoted her. That's what I told her. I promoted her to being my house manager and she loves
I
it.
love
Thank
it. Well, and
you.
like I said, there is a time and season for everything. And so if that kind of being the boss and in charge of it all takes a certain level of capacity, right? And not everybody has that capacity, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just so cool that you guys were able to evaluate that you have more of the capacity now. She can support you,
Yes.
and I guess it's not now. That was a very long time ago.
Yep.
So you have your one location,
Yep.
and I was just gonna say, at that time, what was like the most biggest dream you had for your business in 2009? Like, what was the biggest dream you could think of?
Yeah. Well, after the fire, it was just getting back into business again. That was
Just
super
open.
scary. The first big scary moment. But I think that the biggest dream was to be my definition of success, right? Back in 2009, to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. So I could take a trip when I wanted to, I could do whatever. And so we kind of achieved that. It was a little rough. I think back in 2009, we were still pinching our pennies, like trying to figure out. I still remember being scared to death that payroll was going to happen and do we have enough money for payroll? Like that has always stuck with me. Like that's just scary in the beginning. And once you've made that commitment to hiring on another human being, another individual to make sure that you can sustain that and support that. It's like one of those pressures that never gets lifted off your shoulders, you know?
Correct.
Yeah.
You like your dad says, just more zeros as you hire.
More,
You just get more people, more zeros.
Sure.
I know. I always am looking at that too. It's several more employees later, but it's like it never, I think that responsibility never leaves you, especially if you are a good boss, because these people and their livelihood and their families matter. So you want to make sure you support them. Okay. So over the years, you've now expanded to 3 locations.
Mhm.
And I'm so proud of you for that. My question would be, to other bridal shop owners, when you think about like your role in your business today being so far along, 21 years in, what is something that you're like, I'm so glad I went into the bridal industry because like what makes you love it? I think as an entrepreneur, we
Mhm.
could already assume that you love the financial and time freedom, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
putting that aside, let's get industry specific. Like, what is it about this bridal industry that has kept you here so long? When honestly, we both know it's a hard game. There's
Yes.
a high level emotional, let's just say, requirement to make
Yeah.
customers happy, and with the internet and the access to much more knowledge about gowns and availability. I mean, it's just changed a lot over 21 years. So I'm just curious, like for Jenn Walker, what makes her light up on the inside to say, I still love bridal?
Yeah. I think it's a couple of things. I think number one, the experience that we provide to the brides. I always am so thankful and grateful. And I'm still, even 21 years later, right? I'm still so surprised and impressed and happy with the fact that we get to be a part of this special day for all of these brides. Like it literally, when you sit down and think about it, we get to create this memory for them. And so I love that part. I love being able to have my employees be that part. But the thing that really fills up my cup right now is making careers for the women that work for me. Like my staff, and I knew I was going to tear up, but my staff is like the lifeblood of my organization. I love them to the moon and back. I would do anything for them. Like they are the reason that I'm here. That I love providing careers for them. I love making sure that we can every year I try and add on another thing for them so that way they can grow and have the life that they want to. So that's really what fills up my cup. 100%.
I love that. And when you say add on one more thing, is that like a benefit for them or something in, or is it like an experience for education? Like, what do you mean when you say I like to add one more thing? And I'm asking because I genuinely want to do that too.
So one more thing, I think that I think it was probably 7 or 8. Well, honestly, almost back from the beginning. I needed health insurance because I'm not married. So it was one thing that I needed. So the health insurance was the first thing that we were able to provide for the staff. So I feel like that was one thing. And then adding on a retirement package, we did that 2 or 3 years ago. Well, maybe 3 or 4. I can't remember when we did it, but we added on a retirement package. My staff loves to learn. So anytime they can take a trip or go to a conference, like those are things that I love that they get to do. Like we go to Wedding MBA every year, like that. I'm so excited to see you there this year. So that's going to be fun. But anytime they get to fill up their cups and I can help them fill up their cups, like we do educational opportunities where we get together and do training things. I mean, that's really what I'm thinking about. And I try and always, I know it's real super cheesy and cheesebally, but my staff loves that about me. I feel like they better love it about me. Otherwise, we're not in the right culture. We're not doing the right thing. But I love like celebrating all the holidays with them. So I took them a fun lunchbox for Halloween. I take them chill pills, which are M&Ms that fill up their, like in a little container, like all the fun, like cheesebally things. I love doing that for them. So just to remind
Oh,
them how much I'm thankful and grateful for what they do all day, every day. I mean, I really see them as taking care of the brides and our customers, and then I have to take care of them. So that's how I view it for sure.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Okay. And now I am kind of curious too. 21 years. Okay. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of time span in there to answer this question. But
Mm-hmm.
what's something that kind of surprised you that you weren't prepared for going into this line of work? And you maybe made an assumption, like, here's an example for my staff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I interview people that want to be a bridal stylist, I say, hey, what makes you excited about doing this? And they're always like, it just looks so fun. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Like I giggle because, it's just ignorance is bliss in a way. So I'm just curious, what was like an ignorance is bliss moment for you where you're like, I thought this was going to be so great, but then it was like, oh my gosh, this was not what I was thinking.
So funny. Okay, a few things. I think I think that dealing with your employees as much as I love them to the moon and back is really tricky. I mean, you've worked with women now very long time and we're not always the easiest. So I think sometimes if I've had a hiring mistake, I haven't really been great at letting that go as quickly as I probably should have. But I think that was a surprise. I think the amount of freedom that I would have was also a surprise too. Like I really thought I would still be there all day, every day, but I have fired myself from everything almost in the business, which I think has been helpful. Learning how to delegate has been amazing too. And honestly, the other big surprise is, the flip side of the employees too, how much they fill up the business and like how much they help the business grow. Like all those times that we see the 5-star reviews coming through, like it's on them too. Like I think that they really do a great job as far as building up the reputation of the business and making sure that we're succeeding in the future too.
Yeah, no, that's so good. I think it was before I opened. I opened January 5th of 2008, but in the fall of 2007, when I was writing my business plan, my dad told me, he's like, the hardest part of doing this job will always be employees.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, never. I was like,
That's
no
funny.
way. But just because I get along really well with people, so I just didn't think that was going to be a challenge for me. But for me, I would say, just as we have people listening, it's not an issue of getting along with. It's actually what he means and what he meant, and now I fully understand, is retaining people when, life changes happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a weekend job. It's sometimes hard. Sales is sometimes hard. It's addressing things when, let's just say, you have to talk about something hard that happened at work. Like there are lots of moments as a leader, and ultimately, Jen, I'll be really honest with you, just learning how to become a good boss that people want to work for.
I
Like,
was just going to say, like, creating those boundaries and making sure that you know what your standards are so that they can always raise up to those standards. It's tricky to learn those. In the beginning, I didn't have those. I mean, people walked all over me, right? They literally walked all over me almost. So
well,
I
and
totally get what you're saying.
yeah, it's like I I would say there's like different types of people, and as entrepreneurs we don't really imagine being in those moments before we begin, and then you're like, I'm here. How do I go? Where do I go from here? And yeah, I think that it's super hard balancing loving on your team but also holding the line for your team, and then also reflecting back and say, man, I wasn't always the best leader. Like I didn't communicate my expectations well enough, or I'm frustrated, but what is it probably my fault that I'm
Yeah.
frustrated? Did I ever even tell them my
Mhm.
expectations? So, there's just a lot of growing to be done in your own leadership, because I want to be a great person to work for. So it's like the funny things, learning not to text at 10 o'clock at night, and, because they're not thinking about our business at 10
Oh
o'clock at
my
night.
gosh, it's so funny because I just hired a marketing coordinator and I emailed her. It was an email, it wasn't even a text message at like 2 a.m. because I was up because we had
Yeah.
just bought a
We
third building. And I was like, oh, we got to do this. We got to do this. And she had her email notifications on at 2 a.m. And I was like, no. She went in and asked one of my managers, do I have to respond to Jen at 2 a.m? And Emily was like, no, she just does that sometimes.
Well, you know what the best
It's just being respectful, but I guess
Yeah,
not.
the best thing that ever happened to me was the schedule later, send later
Like
text messages. That
life
was the best thing,
changing. Yeah.
because honestly, I can't control when my brain downloads these thoughts or things that we got to remember to do. It's
Mhm.
just when it comes to me. And if I don't get it out right then, I will forget it. So when that feature came available, now sometimes I'm like, accidentally I hit send instead of choosing send later, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. But most of the time my team knows that, like, my intention is just to get it out of my head for them when they clock in tomorrow morning at 9
Yeah.
a.m. or whatever. So that was a really cool feature. Okay, well, I want to kind of wrap up with a deep thought question with Jen, to say, like, hey, what do you see for the future of our industry? And I know you personally want to do it forever. So I'm like, okay, I know. Like, so tell me, what do you see for the future of bridal, with all the changes that we've had, and for maybe even some newer bridal shop owners that might be listening and
Mhm.
without hope about, what the future may hold. I think you and I are both very full of hope about what the future holds, because we've been able to navigate the twists and turns and still stay here and stay in it. But what kind of encouraging thoughts do you have about what's ahead for the bridal industry?
I think it's a lot of what you talk about already, which is the experience that we provide to the brides when they come in. I mean, they talk about it in their reviews. They talk about it while they're there in the appointment. We talk about it constantly when we're training our employees, that the experience is really what we're providing for these brides when they come in. And I think that no matter what, because honestly, I've had these conversations with a lot of my bridal store owner friends, is like, where do we see things going? How do we see this happening in the future? And nobody can predict the future. I mean, especially with AI. I mean, God, we don't even know what AI can do. So it's scary, but it's also like calming too, because we know that you're always going to want human interaction and human contact and human things. And everybody's going to want to check that I said yes moment off their list, especially once they get that engagement ring on their finger. They're going to want to come and find that perfect dress. They're going to want to do that with their family. They're not going to want to do that on AI or over a video or anything. So I really am very hopeful that it's going to stay this way, that people will still come and have that experience at our locations.
Yeah, I believe that like while AI is a super awesome tool and super helpful, that I think that it's going to almost make people crave, because it is so impersonal, that it'll almost make them crave the once in a while like reach up, reach out and have this super incredible real life experience,
Yes.
because there's so few anymore real life experiences because it is so online. So my thought is, even if it's not going to be their everyday wardrobe, but for the most important garment that they'll ever wear, that they'll still reach up and say, hey, that's still something I want to have, like you said, as a check the box life moment to pick something out with my family and friends. And so I think the best thing we can do as store owners is continue to create FOMO online, continue to show how fabulous I mean, one of the best things that ever happened to our industry, maybe you agree or disagree, but was the show Say Yes to the Dress. I mean, that was seriously a great thing for our industry. It just emphasized even more that like you do this, like you go shopping, you bring people, and it is quite an adventure, you know? So,
show, but you're right, 100%. I think that did amazing things for our industry, 1,000,000%. I can't watch it; it gives me a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah,
and I don't. People from Wisconsin aren't like that. Okay, we got to be nice when we're here at the store. So
yeah. So we are not like that either, and I don't watch it either. But I feel like that phenomenon at some point in our timeline really kind of brought back the emphasis of go shopping and have a moment to find that dress, work with a stylist, go to a beautiful store. Like all of those things help all of us, right? So, you know, like you said, it's not necessarily all the drama. That's television. That is television. But the idea of the experience is definitely something we want to keep creating and elevating and showcasing on our social media, on our website, and just making it a very normal occurrence to have that shopping experience. So I'm with you. I think the future is bright for those people that focus on that. And you know, the best is yet to come.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jenn, for being here today.
Thanks for having me. This was wonderful.
Can you tell us, if people want to go check out your website or your social media handles, where can they find your beautiful locations?
Sure. Our website is www.charlottesbridal.net. Charlotte's is tricky to spell, but you can Google it. It'll be fine. And then our Instagram handle is @charlottesbridal.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today. And we look forward to staying in touch in the future.
Yay. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Bridal Owner Success Stories. I hope you found some inspiration and encouragement for your own career in the bridal industry. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. We are in this together.